Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss with you um, about the tragedy that happened in Libya. For those who don't know what happened there, um, in the last 2 days or 3 days, I believe, there was a major floods in Libya that almost killed 10,000 people because of two dams that exploded uh, in the high of the city of Darna. Um, I think the dams is not the the cause for this tragedy only, but there was a huge amount of water came in one day that caused major floods. People in Libya actually says that they never saw such a thing in their lives, and they never heard about something same as this. And I think um, the climate change actually is the reason for this amount of water, as climate in some places become more drier, and in some places cause major floods and some kind of huge change in climate actually, which is going to cause tragedies in the world in the next few years if the international world don't do anything about it to stop um, what they are doing to the climate and to the world, from pollutions to the gases they spread to the world. So let's continue to our major or to our topic, which is this tragedy in Libya is going to change the political scene there and make it somehow more peaceful country, more gathered country. As we know, from a political view, Libya faces a lot of um, unsustainability and insecurity there, because there are no a powerful regime there, as in the south there are one power trying to control the country, and in the north there is another power trying to control the country too. which is um, the legitimate government, which is world country actually recognized. So this division between the people, some who are supporting the legitimate government and other who support the other power, cause insecurity in the country and causing some kind of conflict there and unsustainability. What I want to say is this tragedy happened in the last days may gather the people of Libya and make them think for their better future, and as they are some kind of um, one society, one nation, because there are one theory saying when there are something that threaten the people, something threaten them out of their control, the people tend to gather to face this threat together and try to find a way to face it. As for example, when they are facing a common enemy, they tend to together to face that enemy and defeat it. So from this perspective, some scientists say that even governments try to make, some governments I mean, try to make an enemy to make people act in the same way, as they are threatened all in the same way, which make them gather, as I said. So governments try to make some enemy, even if it was not a real one, but this imaginary, or even if it was a real enemy, make the country one nation, make them don't think of for example in controlling the other people in the same country, or separate from them, but they tend to be together to face this enemy. So from this perspective, this tragedy happened actually made the people of Libya think in this somehow kind of enemy and try together to face it and to solve their problems. So what I believe is that this tragedy actually going to solve some of the problems of the Libyans, and some kind or somehow make them together, as I said. And I'm saying that from a psychological point of view, as people tend to face enemies or something that threaten them together. And that's what make nations actually as facing the threat together is easier than facing it alone. So I believe that this tragedy actually going to gather the people of Libya. I'm not saying that all of their problems are going to be solved, but actually that's going to change something in the Libyans people and make them or made them closer together. And absolutely that's going to be a step forward to be a one nation. But actually um, making people um, stop fighting themselves or stop trying to think for their own benefits um, from this from this from what happened to them. Let me give you an example for how the threat actually or how the threats, yes, gather the people as a one body and how countries actually using it. um, and I'm going to give you the Ethiopian example. Some thinkers or scientists actually believe that um, if you heard of the dam that built the Nile River in Ethiopia and what problems actually it is causing for those like Sudanese or Egyptians, as this dam actually threatened their water reserves. So some saying why actually Ethiopia don't find a way to make this dam full of water with the help or with the support of Sudanese and Egyptians. Actually, Sudanese and Egyptians are not against the dam at all in its all, or as they are against the dam itself, but they are against the trying to fill this dam in a short way, which is going to affect the river, the Nile River, in a huge way, as they will try to fill this dam in a short time. This will affect the water reserves actually, not like if they fill it in a longer way, in a longer time, which will take um, uh, a smaller amount of water in a long terms. But Egyptian and Sudanese, when they trying to to tell the solution to Ethiopia, Ethiopia actually refused to adapt it. And scientists saying that Ethiopia actually meaning to make some um, instability with Egyptian and Sudanese, so that those countries threaten Ethiopia in somehow way, which is going to which the Ethiopians people will see those countries as a threat and a main issue for the Ethiopians, and they are going and there will be a one enemies for Ethiopians. As you know that Ethiopians actually are there is not one nation actually. There is multiple tribes there, which each tribe actually think in its own way and try to looking for its own benefit, which is affect the structure of this country, I mean Ethiopia. But when they are facing one enemy, all these tribes, which is Sudanese and Egyptians, they are going to be together as the enemy of my enemy make my enemy my friends. So that is what I am trying to say. So from here, Libya and this tragedy actually is going to affect its stability positively. In addition to that, its relation with other countries is going to be better, as if you heard that many countries actually give support for Libya, which is going to be its relations with other countries better. And for sure, this tragedy, yes, it's a tragedy for those people who died or those people who be affected, but in general, for the Libyan people, actually this is a positive um, positive movement actually for them as a society, as a nation, as a one country. And when it comes to its relations with other countries, there is another example actually for how tragedies affect countries' relations. Um, if you heard, there was an earthquake in Syria in last month, I believe, or 2 months, which killed a lot of people, and the situation in Syria are very poor, which needed help actually. And as you know that most countries in the Middle East don't have a good relation with Syria. But when this tragedy actually happened, those countries, which we can consider as it was an enemy for Syrians or for Syrian government, offer the help for them and give them subsidies, like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar. So from there, we can say it was a start, a new start for the relations with Syrians, as they broke that fence between them and the Syrian government by this subsidies they give. So I believe that this tragedy actually helped the Syrian government to back the relations with those countries. And now, if you hear that, and after the earthquake actually, which support my idea, the relations of Syrian governments become better, especially with the Arab countries. So we hope those countries are going to find some peaceful way of affecting them peacefully and positively. And thank you.